Hey guys, it's Jay, and we're in the kitchen again today for another Foodie Friday. My sister-in-law requested that we do a recipe this week not involving chicken. Thanks. So we're doing a Mexican quinoa bake. Let's do this. We're using quinoa. Now, quinoa is an ancient grain that goes back to Incan times. It's a complete protein, it's gluten-free, and it's delicious. So let's grab our quinoa and some chicken or vegetable broth. Alright, before we get too far into this, we want to preheat our oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Now normally the first thing you want to do with quinoa is rinse it. This quinoa actually says on the box that it's pre-washed, no rinsing required, but the recipe I got says to rinse your quinoa, so I figure better safe than sorry. I've measured out 1 cup of our uncooked quinoa, and in a fine mesh strainer, we'll rinse that under cool water for about 2 minutes. Alright, our quinoa has rinsed nicely. We're just going to let that drain. I'm going to put a couple of teaspoons of oil in a medium pot here. We're going to put this over medium-high heat. Once your quinoa is pretty well drained, we're going to add it straight to the pot, and we're going to let that cook for about 1 minute. And this will kind of start to dry out and pop a little bit, get a little toasty flavors going on. We'll keep stirring this around while it heats. Alright, so after about a minute of this, we're going to add 2 cups of our chicken or vegetable broth and let this come to a boil. Alright, while that is coming to a boil, we're going to turn our attention to bell pepper and zucchini. Now we need about half of a bell pepper chopped, and we're looking for about a cup of zucchini diced. I'm using my little teeny tiny knife today with my little teeny tiny cutting board because I'm actually cooking in my teeny tiny breakfast pan back there. It's so cute! And I really only needed 1 zucchini, so I've got leftovers. Now our quinoa has come to a boil, so we're going to turn the heat down to low, cover it, and let that simmer for about 15 minutes. We'll check on it every so often to make sure it's not sticking. Alright, now we are going to use our little baby skillet with a couple of teaspoons of oil as well. And we'll put this over medium-high heat. Now I shouldn't have put this in the same bowl because these have different cooking times. Let's undo this. Ta-da! Magic. Alright, we're going to start in our little pan and we're going to go with bell pepper first. We're going to give that about a 7-minute head start. Then we're going to add the zucchini and go for about 3 more minutes. So about 10 minutes total time cooking these medium heat in that beautiful little pan. Alright, bell peppers down. Now we'll give those 7 minutes, stirring every so often. I like to throw a little lid on there too and really let them sweat down. Alright, we're about 7 minutes in on the bell peppers, so we're going to add our zucchini and go for 3 more minutes. Alright, our quinoa has been going for about 15 minutes, so we're going to pull it off the heat and let it sit for about 5 minutes. Now while we're letting our quinoa rest, let's pull together everybody else that we need for this party. We are back in the cabinet. We need a 15.5-ounce can of black beans and a 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes. Alrighty, so we will need our 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes. I have the petite dice here, and we are going to want to drain those. I'm using my handy-dandy strainer from earlier for this. Get as much water out of these as we can. Alrighty. We need our 15.5-ounce can of black beans. We're going to drain and rinse these. Perfect. And we also need 1 cup of frozen corn kernels. We need our bell peppers and zucchini that we have softened up in the pan. And some spices. We are using 1 tablespoon of dried minced onion, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon dried oregano, 1 teaspoon chili powder, the juice of half a lime. I have one of these plastic limes that I found in the produce section. Feel free to use real limes. This is just really convenient. So I'm going to go with probably a teaspoon and some change here. And salt, I usually go for about a teaspoon. And again, we're using the Salt Sense lesser sodium salt. And now we need our quinoa. Do you see it? Do you see it? Look at all that quinoa. Now quinoa is a sprouting grain. You may be able to see that it's grown these little sprouts while it was cooking, which is just amazing. The first time I saw it, I thought something went wrong. But it is sprouting, don't worry, it's supposed to look like that. Perfect, let's do this. Alright, so we're adding all of our quinoa and stir to combine. Alright, I'm going to give this 16x9 casserole dish a dose of cooking spray. Just so nothing sticks, this should crisp up nicely. And we'll add everything to the dish. Just level everybody out, and we're gonna bake this for 30 minutes at 375. So this has been going for about 30 minutes, and now we're gonna add 1 cup of your favorite cheese to the top. I'm using a shredded cheddar. You can use Monterey Jack, pepper jack, whatever you like. And let this bake for another 10 minutes or so, maybe hitting a broil to get a nice brown color on the top. Boom, it's fiesta time. Let's see how we did on the nutrition front. Very nice. And how have we fared at the register? Excellent. This recipe originally came from Lindsay at the Live-In Kitchen blog, and I'll put a link down in the description as to how you can go check out the original. We made a few adaptations, but this is pretty faithful to the original that she put together. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Foodie Friday, and until next time, rock on.